Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be our first TBR of 2022. I'm very excited. So here are the books that I'm hoping to read in January. I'm a little bit still in a reading slump, but I'm very hopeful that we're going to start the year on the right foot. Let's start with the two books that I will be reading on the Patreon book club. As always, I will still include the review in my wrap-up at the end of the month, but the reading vlogs will be included on Patreon. So the first one we chose is a mystery thriller. This is The Last Thing He Told Me, which was the winner on the Goodreads Choice Award of 2021. So we want to know, is it worth the hype? I was actually hoping to read this last fall, but it just didn't happen. The summary of the plot, if I remember correctly, is like a man disappears and he leaves a note to his wife who just says, protect her. Her being his daughter, her stepdaughter. And apparently they don't get along, and the police is just trying to figure out what happened, who he is, maybe his secret past. It seems very dramatic, but so far the hype seems to be like pretty positive, so we'll see if we agree or not. It's always fun. I feel like mystery thrillers, I've been really on a kick in the last like couple of years to try and find like a really good one, so hopefully this will be it. I also like the spine. And then the second one is part of my challenge to try and read more classics. I'll link the video down below, but we have a list, and every 2 months we're going to be reading one classic, and we're starting with Jane Austen, Persuasion, because Netflix is supposed to come out with a new adaptation this year. I don't think there's a specific release date yet, and I want to be able to do what I did with Pride and Prejudice. If you haven't seen it, I will link that video down below, because I watched like a bunch of different version of adaptations, and I just talked about which actor, basically which version was my favorite for each character. It was a lot of fun. If you really love Pride and Prejudice, I'll link that so you can check it out. But I want to do the same thing with Persuasion, so read the book and then watch all the TV shows and movies and decide. So yes, this is the second one. I love Jane Austen in general. She writes romance that actually works for me. It's the longing, you know, it's the longing that works for me. In this case, you have a woman who 8 years ago refused the hand of the man she loved because of the pressure of her family, and then he comes back and he seems to be interested in her friend, and like she wants him again. So yes, I'm so excited. I haven't watched any of the movies or like any version of anything. I know nothing about it, so I have a good feeling about this one. Let's talk about the ones I am currently in the middle of reading because I need to finish them. The first one, book 2 in the Wheel of Time, which is The Great Hunt. I have been in a slump with this book. I started it, was it the beginning of December or was it in November? I don't remember. I've been meaning to finish this for a while. I want to finish it so I can actually try the TV show too. I really enjoyed book 1, made it to my best of 2021, a little bit to my surprise. So I'm hoping that I will still enjoy book 2, but I'm like 50 pages into it. It's been a while. When I was reading it, I was enjoying it, but I've just been in a slump. So hopefully I'm going to read a few things basically before and then focus on that one. Hopefully I will finally be in the mood again, but I have a good feeling. I want Matt basically to annoy me again. Last month, actually, I DNF'd an audiobook I was listening to because I didn't enjoy it at all. And I had to find another one that was available at my library, and I realized they had this one. This book I had been meaning to read forever. This is Blindside, which is supposed to be like a first contact with aliens, but it's kind of weird. And I had tried a physical book. I had read like the first couple pages and I was like, oh my God, I don't have the brain power to read like hard sci-fi right now. So I put it down. And I think audiobook might be the way to go through it for me. But so far, as I understand it, I'm like 30% into it. First contact with aliens, like humanity, there's like probes, like alien probes that just show up one day and then they disappear. And then they go in space to try and make first contact. And that's literally all I'm understanding right now. We'll see if the last 70% makes up for it. I'm not enjoying it. Like, I'm just a little confused, which very common with hard sci-fi. So far so good. I'm just happy that I'm finally reading something that has been on my TBR and on my shelf for years. Next, I am hoping to continue the Skyward series by Sanderson. I'm currently trying to read Read On, which is the second novella between book 2 and 3. I read the first one, didn't really care for it. It's like very white, like, you know, there's a co-author, you know, it's the co-author that wrote it. It reads really white. It's focusing on the romance between like side characters. You don't need to read it, basically. I didn't care for it. So I'm currently attempting to read the second one because once I'm done with it, I will finally be able to read book 3, Cytonic. I love this universe. I love so far the world building and like there's always so many like mysteries with Sanderson. It's always really fascinating to see like where he's going, because I have never any kind of idea where he's going. This is YA sci-fi, and it didn't, the actual books don't read that YA. I think that's why I've been struggling with the novellas. So yes, skip the 200 pages of the first novella. Clearly. But yes, I'm excited to finally be able to read this one. It's a little shorter than the other ones, but I'm hopeful that I will be enjoying it once I push through the novella. To be honest, if I'm not enjoying it, I'll probably just DNF and just move forward to this. But I really like how the first one was like on one planet, and I feel like afterwards it becomes much bigger. It's like more political intrigue with like aliens' life, and who knows where this one is going to go. I have been meaning to continue the Inspector Armand Gamache series by Louise Penny, Booktube being A Fatal Grace. I had started it last summer, like middle of July. It was really, really hot, and this is going on like around Christmas. Usually I don't have an issue with that, but for some reason it just really wasn't working for me last year. So if I started like now, I think I would still be very much in the mood for the holidays. I still have like my lights, even though, oh yeah, they are turned on. I didn't know. With the lighting, it's kind of hard to tell. But I'm still in a festive mood, so I think if I read this like right now, I might get out of my reading slump maybe, and still be in the mood for it. So definitely something I want to continue. They're like murder mystery in like a small town, which the cozy vibes always work for me. Next, I'm hoping to continue the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. One of my challenges this year is to attempt to finish series. The actual goal is 10. I'll link that video down below too. You can watch me struggle all year. I am very good at starting series. I think last year it's like 20 that I started and I finished 2. And they were series that didn't even start in 2021. So not very good at this. But I read book 1 last year, and if I can actually read the next 2 books this year, I would hit my goal for that specific series. So before they're hanged, I really enjoyed book 1. You're mostly introduced to the characters. It does feel a little bit like a prologue, which usually bothers me, but it didn't for this series because the characters were really likable. You have like the F-boy, you have the used to be a hero and is now a villain, and the used to be a villain and now is a hero. I'm just enjoying it. It's really fun how the author, like the writing style really changes with each character, which I don't feel like we get that super often. So I was pleasantly surprised and I'm excited to continue. So book 2, if I have time, I need to make time for it. I would love to get to that one too. I feel like usually in January, I give myself a ridiculous TBR. And if you actually look back to my wrap-ups in the past, I think it's usually the month that I read the most, but I don't want to overwhelm myself too much right now. And I have a few that are pretty big. So I think it's a fairly reasonable TBR to put 8 books. I think I can achieve that pretty easily. Let me know in the comment section if you have read any of these, if you're planning on it. Let me know, spoiler free obviously, in the comment section. And let me know the books you are planning to read in January, because I mean the more books we can add to our TBRs, the better, right? I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be linking the videos that I mentioned in my description box and putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out. And I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.
Lonely, you're the reason why I can feel those butterflies when I go to sleep at night.